Hi folks, Tim here. Welcome back to Elmendorf Acres. Well, I figured I'd give a quick update on things. We haven't done an 8 to 38 video in quite a while. We were out of material as far as what I felt comfortable with, and we didn't have a lot of views with it. The people who were watching it seemed to enjoy it, but we've kind of gone on pause with that for now. I would like to kick it off again here and there with relevant videos, so if something happens that I feel is relevant to that 8 to 38 series, I'll post another video in it. So now that we are in winter, we're hoping to get some videos of Abby's kitchen, especially Abby cooking in the kitchen, and different recipes and things like that. So we'll be looking forward to some videos like that, and I figured I would give a quick post-storm update. So we had what they called Winter Storm Ember, and that came in Saturday night and blew through Sunday. I don't remember exactly when it was over. I think it was officially over Sunday evening around 6 o'clock, and I plowed until 2 o'clock Monday morning. But by 2 o'clock Monday morning, we had every driveway open, every commercial lot plowed open, cleaned up, and shoveled, along with any ice melt applied. So 8 hours after the close of the storm, we were able to have 160 properties wrapped up. So great job to Owen on that. Abby rode with me in the plow truck, which was a nice change from just sitting there all alone eating donuts and candy to stay awake. But anyway, I figured a quick explanation of kind of what we do post-snowstorm and pre-snowstorm and during snowstorm might be a little bit helpful. So the snow business is tricky business. It's something that is really hard because you invest a lot of money in the hopes that it might snow. We invest money in lawn mowing, and the grass grows every year. We invest money in that giant leaf blower or our leaf cleanup stuff, baggers, different things like that. The leaves fall every year. It does not snow every year, and the investment with trucks and plows and sanders, along with the other stuff, and by the other stuff I mean we buy bulk material to get through the winter, whether it be salt or sand or sometimes a mix of the two, and we also pay a lot of money in insurance, and that is non-refundable. I mean, that's just a gamble that we take. We need to have it, and we hope that it snows so that we can use it, if that makes sense. I don't have a better way to put it. Obviously, we don't want to use the insurance because that means something went wrong, but we hope that it snows to help offset the costs of those insurances. So you can see behind me, this is a fairly new truck to the family. We bought this at the end of October, right after the old gray truck, the one that Owen used to use, just completely died. The thing was beyond repair. It wasn't safe to use anymore, so we pulled it off the road and sold it for parts. And one of the things that I've talked about over the years with many of my friends is having a bank account that you put some money in for emergency type situations. Now, all the financial experts, they tell you they want you to have 6 months of living expenses, things like that, saved up if you can. That's a great goal. Good for you if you did it. Most people didn't. I have a hard time doing it too. But with the business, we've been very, very religious about putting money aside for breakdowns and repairs and equipment replacement. So when the gray truck went down, Abby and I had a discussion and said, well, we've discussed putting a family truck on the road for a long time. One that when we go to shows, when we sponsor events at the Farmers Museum or at the fairs, different things like that, we can go to these shows as a family with a business truck. So that's what this is for. It's for that. Obviously, we still use it for mowing. It pulls the mow trailer, the equipment trailer. We mounted a Power Plow on the front of it, so it's nice for parking lots. It's a little bit big for some of these tight driveways. But this was one of those things where I say snow plowing is expensive. We need to have 2 extremely reliable trucks on the road and 1/3 reliable truck on the road. So we had a little difficulty this leading up to this storm. Believe it or not, 2 days before the storm, I had 1 reliable truck on the road other than this black one, because that did not have a plow on it yet. But the day prior to the storm, we were able to get the parts in, and my buddy Tom managed to get the wiring done, managed to get the mounts on and the plow working, so we had a second reliable truck ready for the storm. However, I really did not want to put this truck in the mix of things if I didn't have to. This is really, I'm going to call it the driveway queen. This one stays in the driveway and it looks pretty, and if we need it, we have it, but I don't want to use it for it, because there is nothing that beats a truck up more than going down these driveways, plowing and getting branches scratched down the side of it and all kinds of stuff like that. So as much as I don't want to do that to a nice truck, I really don't want to do it to that truck. So we were able to buy that truck, fortunately, for a good price. It was used, a couple years old. An older gentleman owned it before he traded it in, and he took great care of it. So we were able to get it used for significantly less than new. You're all very familiar with my gray truck, which is right now absolutely filthy. This has the SnowEx sander, the SnowEx HeliXX stainless sander in the back, and we've got the 8611 Power Plow on the front. So that's an 8.5 foot straight blade, and it goes out to 11 feet wide. It acts as a big snow pusher basically, and then it scoops into 10 feet. So it works great for parking lots, and it works pretty good for these driveways too. There is a lot of money sitting here in this truck. The basic trucks now are well over $55,000, and that is for a super low-end truck. That is with nothing fancy in it. I mean, that's what we did with this truck. We deleted the Sirius radio out of it. We deleted all kinds of stuff from the factory when we ordered this truck to get one more reasonably that we could afford. Then we put this Power Plow on the front, and I put the stainless sander in the back. The other thing that had to happen leading up to this storm is we were working through a replacement truck for Owen. Now, I said that that big truck is just too big to go down some of these driveways. So I had been looking at a lot of used trucks to see if I could find something in the same time frame era as my white 250. Now, you've seen that truck on a lot of different jobs. It's starting to get a little tired, and it's been having a lot of electrical issues. So it's been back and forth to the dealership, and they're trying to figure things out, but it wasn't reliable for the upcoming storm. So there it is. Unfortunately, we had to buy this white truck to get through that storm. Now, this is a nice truck, came with the plow. Older gentleman as well owned it. Had about 40,000, just under 40,000 miles on it. It's a 2012. So it is 12 years old at this point, but it was fairly clean. A little bit of rust underneath, but the skins are all pretty good, not too dented up or anything. So this is part of where the money goes for the snow plowing. The way I look at our business is I want the snow plowing to pay for the trucks for the business. So that can be difficult, especially in a winter like last year, where we really didn't have too much snow. Now, you can see here, we've got good snow tires on this truck. 4 of them. You can see my old truck behind here, the hood is popped because we've been having electrical issues, so it's been charging. There are 4 new snow tires on that truck. 4 new snow tires on my gray truck. 4 new snow tires on the black truck. So we've invested almost $5,000 in tires just preparing for winter. The snow plows are right around $10,000 now, some of them a little bit more. The particular plow that's on the front of this gray truck is $10,200 before tax. The one that's on the black truck is very similar. It's actually an 8 foot and it extends out to 10. This is the 8.5, extends to 11. So very similar, same brand, still the Power Plow. Most of the parts are interchangeable, which is what we wanted. We're trying to go to more of an interchangeable system where if the plow on a truck breaks down, we can unhook it off that one, hook it on this one, or if a truck breaks down, we can do the same thing, just switch trucks out. This truck came with the Fisher. This one's in really good shape. We'll be keeping this plow truck combo this way until the truck is no longer with us. And the same with my white truck in the back, that white extended cab 250. That's got the Boss setup on it. We've got a Boss 92V and we've also got the Boss 8-foot straight blade for that truck. So it kind of depends on what we're doing, but we can switch things out, or if we have a plow breakdown, I can unhook one and go to the other. So that's a quick rundown of some of what happens pre and post storm. Post storm now, we're done with the storm. As you can see, the snow is actually melting. It's nice and sunny today, but we're supposed to have very cold temps tonight. So this is loaded up with a load of sand. I'm gonna have to go pre-treat some things later because there's water running across parking lots. So that's gonna get all icy, so we gotta deal with that. Now that this storm is done, the white truck needs a bath. We try to take care of these things. They're out in the salt and the nastiness. We try to wash the bed rails, wash the frames, make them last as long as we can. This gray truck, same thing. It needs a bath. It needs the inside cleaned because I lived in that truck for 50-something hours between the two storms. We had two storms back to back. So we no sooner got done dealing with the first one than the second one rolled in. So there's coffee cups and wrappers and Gatorade containers and water bottles strewn behind the seats of that truck. So we got to deal with that. Like I said, it needs a bath. We need to go through things. I had a little squeak up here. He seems to be in the front end. It's only when the four-wheel drive is going. So most likely we need to do a little bit of U-joint lubrication. Let's see, what else do we do? The gray truck is due for an oil change. The white truck is due for an oil change. So this is all post-storm stuff. So we actually spent 2 or 3 days prepping for this storm because we knew it was going to be a larger storm. It wasn't just 2 or 3 inches. It was supposed to be around a foot, which is what it was. So we brought in bulk material. We put plows in the trucks. We put snow tires in the trucks. And we've prepped prior to this. So some of it was I just had to jack the truck up and swap out the rims to put the snow tire rim combos on the trucks. But it was also a lot of running around trying to figure out what are we going to do for this storm, because we have to be reliable. It's one thing when you're a small operation and you've got 15 to 30 driveways, you can call people and say, hey, I'm sorry, my truck broke down. It's not great to have to do that, but you could do it. We have commercial lots, we've got private roads, and we've got all these residences that people rely on us to be there, and I need to know that I can run at least a 2-man crew and plow trucks to get this stuff done in a timely fashion. So I have to have at least 2 of these trucks set up with 1 full working backup truck going into each storm. So it was, needless to say, a fairly expensive fall for us. Buying the black truck, we put a very hefty down payment on that truck and have a small payment. And then this white truck we were able to find at a used dealer, and we were able to fully pay for that. So that's what I was talking about a little bit with making sure you put some money aside for these emergencies. You never know what's going to happen. And what I like to do is with the bigger commercial contracts, I try to put that money in a business savings account, and that gets used for all that emergency stuff. And then the smaller ones, the different things that we do with the residential accounts, those checks tend to go in the working fund money or the checking account. But that's a quick overview of the pre, during, and post-storm operations. I don't have any videos of actually plowing the storm. I did do a live, I think around 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning for a few minutes. I'll see if I can recover some of that footage and maybe throw some of that out there, but I don't think it turned out great. So it was a very successful storm. We're happy with how it went. No major breakdowns. I did have a wiring issue in the gray truck here, the new one. I called my buddy Andrew and said, hey, have you ever had this happen? He goes, yeah, check the connections here. And that was exactly what it was. So that was an easy fix. Frustrating while it happened, but it was an easy fix. And we found a stump on one of our new driveways. I found a great hole that I could push some snow into. So I had a full blade of snow and was pushing it in there and just absolutely slammed this stump and managed to shear a bolt on the plow. Very fortunately, we had that exact size bolt that I needed to put everything back together in our mix in the garage. Not in the bolt bin that we had set up, just in the spare bolts bin of whatever miscellaneous stuff I've collected over the years. So we were very thankful that we had that. It was able to get this gray truck back on the road and going again. So all in all, a non-eventful storm, which is exactly what we want. It's supposed to get cold. You can maybe hear the breeze a little bit right now. The north wind is starting to blow in, and it's supposed to get cold tonight. And then we have a potential storm, I believe, Tuesday, and potential for a very small storm on Friday. So we are hoping and praying for a real winter this year where we can actually make some money plowing snow. It's been a long time since that happened, and it's a huge investment on kind of a maybe thing. Like I said, we've got an enormous amount of money invested. If you figure that these plows are $10,000 a piece, we've got 6 of them, and these sanders are $8,000 a piece, we've got 2 of them. We've got $75,000 invested in attachments for the trucks in hopes that it'll snow. Not to mention all the money in insurances, tires, and bulk materials, everything else. And the other side of it is, and I had this discussion with a friend of mine the other day, is if we didn't plow snow, I would not need to have 4 trucks on the road. I could run a crew with 2 trucks and a dump truck. So I would only need to have 3 trucks on the road, not 4 pickups and the dump truck. So it's kind of hard sometimes to justify doing snow. That's why we have so many accounts, is so that we can afford to pay for everything. As funny as that sounds, but that's just the way it works. So it occurs to me that one of the things I should do is show you exactly how this SnowEx Power Plow, that's what they call it, their Power Plow, works. So we're going to set the camera up in the front here, and I'm going to show you the way it works as far as the scoop modes, the straight blade, all that. All right, here we go. Let's start up the truck. So you can see just how much wider this is. This is now 11 feet wide. So if you're pushing parking lots or if you're doing a downhill run on the driveway, this is great. I love pushing the driveway where I can push down and really open it wide. It gives me a lot more wiggle room for if I do something stupid later and have to call a tow truck or a friend of mine to get down there to pull me out. Now this is what they call their scoop mode, or they like to call it the bucket blade. This holds an incredible amount of snow. This holds a lot more snow than your average V-plow holds, and it works really, really well. It's been really helpful with pushing parking lots open. The other thing that's really cool with this is you can operate these wings separately. So I can operate just this wing or just that wing. Now when you're windrowing, that is especially helpful. So you can see how well this might work when we're windrowing. You see how far out this blade comes on this side. And you get almost no, I call them trailers. You get almost no trailers when you have this wing pushed all the way out and in scoop mode, and you have this one wide. The other thing that's really nice is when you're windrowing with a plow that's usually made for this size truck, when you angle the blade, you tend to run over some of the snow a lot of the time. When this is extended like this, it gives that extra width. You don't run over that snow, and it doesn't come back and bump against the doors and scrape against the truck, anything like that. So this is the SnowEx Power Plow. This particular model is the 8611. So the 86 is 8'6" out to 11. That's where they came, that model number came from. But I've been happy with it. This is my second year with it. We've plowed everything from 12 inches of powder to 6 or 7 inches of slush. And it really works well. I did take a pretty good hit this last storm and bent a little bit of the cutting edge over on this side behind me on the extendable wing part, not the main plow part. which is a heavier cutting edge. With the lighter cutting edge on the wing, we did manage to bend a little bit. But to me, that's really not horrible. If that's all that happened after 4 days of plowing between the two storms, we really did pretty good. So again, SnowEx Power Plow, I love it. It goes on easy, it comes off easy. Wiring is simple, and it's really user-friendly. This is made by Douglas Dynamics, so that's made by the exact same people that make your Fishers and your Westerns. The big thing I liked about the SnowEx and the Western is that the ears that mount on the truck actually come off. So when you're driving around all spring, summer, and fall long, and like with the Boss, where the ears seem to be in everyone's way all the time, you're bumping them on curbs if you're trying to get close, or if you're in the woods, you get hung up on stuff. I've had that happen a few times. That does not happen with these ears. It does not mess with the clearance at all. And one thing that I did is I actually bought the, I think it was the Tremor skirt, they call it, underneath the bumper, and that tucked in. I just trimmed just the tiniest little bit out. It looks really nice that way. So let me show you what that looks like. So usually these plastic skirts hang way down to here, and they cut them out. You can see that I only had to trim about an inch out here, and it really looks nice that way. It doesn't look ugly and have this big nasty cutout in your front skirt. So I bought that, did that, it worked great. Again, Western and SnowEx have the exact same mounting, the same wiring. So if you have, especially these newer vintage where it's the Fleet Flex, if you have these newer vintage, you can take your ears from your SnowEx off, put ears for a Western in. The controller, the wiring, everything is the same. So that is a great advantage to me. I'm really happy with that. Really happy with this plow overall. So we went with SnowEx over Western because we know the dealer. It's from our friends up at Eklund Farm Supply. Or Eklund Farm Machinery, excuse me. That's where we got our SnowEx stuff from, but there's another local dealer about an hour and 20 minutes away who does Western and SnowEx, and they've got a huge part selection as well. So we have a couple dealers within about an hour and 20 minutes of us, which for some of you that may not be good. For us, that's really good because we are out in the sticks. But anyway, that's the overview of this SnowEx 8611 Power Plow. We are really happy with it. As always, thank you for watching Elmendorf Acres. If you haven't done so, please subscribe. We get a lot of watch time from people who haven't subscribed, and I've actually done a video on how to subscribe without getting notifications every time we post a video. So if you enjoy the video at all, please be sure to subscribe, and we're working our way to that 1,000 mark. We're almost there. So thank you for watching. Have a great day.